Icarus Precision grip module for the Ruger RXM. Let's check it out. Now, while there are a lot of firearm options out on the market, there are some accessories and some upgrades that you can make that really bring your gun into whatever you're looking for. When it comes to the Glock platform, it's one of the most popular to upgrade. The Glock is a very utilitarian firearm, and yet people are taking them and just building them and tricking them out. The first experience I had with Icarus Precision, though, was with a SIG P320, and it was at a Patreon range event, and I'll tell you what, it was amazing the difference with the Icarus. I mean, it really made this a much more shootable handgun. They've just introduced their grip module for the RXM from Ruger. Ruger has that chassis system, so it fit right into your Icarus frame. And guys, this completely transforms the RXM model. I've been very excited about the RXM, and it has a lot of potential, but bringing in the Icarus Precision grip module just makes this a whole new firearm. And guys, there has been a big swing toward metal frames for your firearms. Polymer frame striker fire pistols have been extremely popular, and they're still very popular, but there's a lot of guys that are going back to that metal frame, the rigidity, the strength, and the smoothness. And then, of course, with the Icarus, they just upgrade it in every detail. So we want to give a big thank you to Icarus Precision for sending the Ruger RXM grip module for this review. So guys, we have the Ruger RXM, and this is a collaboration between Ruger and Magpul. And with the Magpul frame, and then the internals and the slide assembly is Ruger. But the big deal is the chassis system, and that was really what separated that Ruger to make it a very popular option, honestly, in a world of Glock clones. Now we're going to take it to a whole different level with the Icarus Precision grip module. And this is 7075 T6 aluminum, which is top-notch. It has a lot of cool features. Really, you just take your RXM and you install it into the grip module. And honestly, it doesn't take that long to do. Now, because of YouTube's policies, we're not able to show that, but we will have that shown on our website at Suchgear, so you can check that out. It will also be on GetZone, and it's a complete installation of the parts. And one of the things about Glock, which is so unique, is that the simplicity of the handgun is what has kept it going for so long. And because of that, it's fairly easy to work with. So honestly, installing this into the Icarus was not a big deal. I mean, it was just like taking your Glock apart, except for the chassis system. Now, that's one of the things about the Icarus, is that it requires a chassis because you do have just a grip module. And we're seeing more and more handguns coming out. In fact, really, they got their start with the P365 and the P320, but then they have expanded that on to other handguns. So first thing let's do is drop our magazine, and this is the Ace X model, which has a full-size grip with a standard G19 size slide, which is the RXM. And so it gives it that X factor like your Glock G19X or your Glock 45. Check the chamber, and the gun's empty. Now, one of the things about the mag is that it does flush fit with a 17-round magazine. So that's going to be a big plus. The Icarus X only takes your Gen 4 and Gen 5 Glock magazines because it has the extra cutout. With the original Gen 3 mags and below, it only has one cutout because the mag release couldn't be switched to the other side. We do have one of the Zev mag wells on the bottom, and we installed that as well. But as far as the gun, This chassis completely changes the way this gun feels, the way it shoots, and it gets away from the polymer to that metal surface, which really is just excellent. I mean, it just molds in your hand. You'll notice the checkering that goes all the way around, and it's what they call their 360-degree checkering, so there's no area around. Now, typically, these two areas, front strap and back strap, are what kind of you grip hold of. You kind of put the pressure on. But the side panels actually keep it from canting and rotating, and so this makes it just an all-around excellent grip. I love how this comes up and under. And we have a pretty significant beaver tail, which really allows for better recoil management. It just kind of distributes the weight right here in the web of your hand, and then it just comes forward where your thumb just kind of comes in naturally, and then we have a thumb rest here. And so this is made to fit your hand. And Icarus Precision is really the premier at grip modules. It also has a really nice undercut right here. And so that way you can get your hand really high up and get it as low to the bore as you can possibly get it. And that really helps with recoil management as well. And it is double undercut. So the bottom of the trigger guard has also been cut back and relieved, and it has texturing underneath, texturing in front of the trigger guard, and it's a fairly ample trigger guard, so it has a lot of room. Now this is taking your standard Glock trigger, but anything that you can put in the RXM, which is a standard Glock trigger, will go into this handgun, so you can upgrade the trigger. We have a 3-slot Picatinny rail, and we have our standard takedown. Now this lever, or this little pin, is what holds in your chassis system and this pin. So you don't have the additional pins, especially on the Glock Gen 3 or even Gen 4 type handguns. And it really makes it a little bit more easy to disassemble. You have your standard Glock type takedown levers right here, and you have your slide stop, which is protected by this fence. So it comes up, and you can see the stainless of the chassis underneath. Right here near this pin is a recoil ledge. So this just allows for you to set your thumb right here with both thumbs forward, and it gives you some recoil management that way as well. Plus, just the weight, which this weighs 6.8 ounces, just the grip. And so this is not a lot heavier than your polymer, but it's definitely a little more weighty. And I'll tell you guys, to be honest, when you're shooting this, it gives you some rigidity. It makes it feel like a solid firearm. You know, I've been shooting polymer frame pistols for years, and I love them, and they definitely have their place. But I've been kind of switching over to some of my favorite guns have that metal frame, and that is one thing that just allows me typically to shoot a lot better. And I'll tell you guys, really, you put this in your hand and it just molds into your hand. And two, with that other side, it gives you a memory pad to put your shooting finger when you're finished. Now it does use a Gen 4 mag release, and one of the reasons is because you can switch it to the other side. Now this is a ZEV mag release. It doesn't come with the chassis system. You have to purchase this separately, and we even show how to install that as well. But it really drops these magazines out very well. Gives you a little more room. Now we were also testing the new Metgar all-metal mags, and since this is an all-metal frame, they really go well together. And it has a very slick surface on here. We're going to be doing a review on these just because they're just so well made. And Metgar is an OEM company for many of your gun companies. I mean, they make the magazines. One thing I like is they have these little rounded off lips or catches, so you can actually use a polymer mag release if you want to use these in your standard Glock. But these have turned out to be exceptionally reliable. Now this does also come in a Glock 19 size, which has just that compact for the 15-round magazines, or the traditional RXM, that was the size for it. But this is the X model, so you have a little more room, and then it allows you to have that mag well at the bottom just to kind of lock your hand in. And there's something about that you know, just makes it really nice. Now, I'm not a big extended mag well guy. You know, personally, I typically don't like these, especially on my carry gun. But if I have a really good solid range gun, or for my home defense gun, this really works well. And then of course, with the Ruger RXM slide, it just fit on here just perfect once we got the chassis installed. It does have a hard anodized finish that's black, but they also offer what they call their FDE. Now here I have one, and this is actually for the Echelon, the Springfield Armory Echelon. And this is that FDE, which to me is really more of a bronze color. But it does have a really nice look to it if you want that two-tone effect. And for some of their other models, they have a number of different colors. And here you can see the texturing is just like a diamond pattern. It just covers up and it molds in. You'll see where it kind of comes in here and it just kind of narrows out. So it gives gives it that feel that as you're bringing your fingers around, your fingers tend to wrap around the front strap, and it's not just kind of blocked off to where it gives you a little bit looser grip. So it allows you just to lock in your grip a little closer a lot of times than most of your manufactured pistols. There's also some cuts right in here. All throughout, there's a lot of detail that's been done with this frame. I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. Again, guys, the first time I ever had any experience with Icarus was with a SIG P320, and a guy brought it to one of our Patreon range days, and man, I fell in love with it. It was a totally different feel to that handgun. And I think, honestly, this makes a great candidate if you're carrying the P365 or even the 320, of course, if it doesn't go off. Here on the other side, there is a cutout for your serial number, and again, this is a chassis system that is the gun. So you can order the Icarus direct, and there's a lot of different distributors that carry these, and you can order it from them and have it shipped directly to your house. If you've already got the RXM, it's really simple to do. Now, because this is the RXM trigger, it just has that standard trigger, and it's a Glock trigger, a little bit better, not quite as mushy as your standard Glock, and so honestly this fits really well in here. But of course, obviously there's a ton of different aftermarket triggers. Now with the RXM, it is Shield RMSC or Holosun 407K footprint, so it goes right to the slide, and we installed one of the brand new Olight SEs, and this is their micro red dot. It is an enclosed emitter, which makes it nice, and we have been doing a lot of testing with it. We thought this would be a great candidate to put it on. We had already used the original Osight S on the original RXM, and it just did extremely well, but we have a review coming up on it. And of course, with the RXM, it's already got those suppressor height sights, so you're going to be able to really lower 1/3 co-witness those sights. Now, we're going to weigh the handgun, but it does have the Osight SE on there, and it comes in at 29.82 ounces. Big thank you to Fiocchi for sponsoring our ammo, all made in the USA, one of the biggest suppliers of ammunition in the country. And also a big thank you to Lula Loaders for making range day faster. Guys, the Icarus Precision frames are just excellent. I love the metal. It gives you a lot of rigidity. The texturing on here is excellent. And of course we have it on the RXM, which has been hugely popular, and that chassis just drops down into the frame. The ergonomics are improved. The beaver tail gives you a lot more space to keep this even more recoil managed. The magwell, which is extra, but it just kind of fits into your hand. It gives you a very snug fit to it. The texturing on the recoil ledge here, or the memory pad, and again you have those Picatinny rail sections at the end, so it gives this a lot of options. Uses your standard Glock magazines, and it just has been uber reliable. So you've got that Glock reliability in a Ruger and an Icarus frame. And we have an Osight SE on here. This has been just put together. But guys, if you're looking to really update the Glock system, Icarus Precision makes just very high quality grip shells. And again, you're getting away from the polymer, which that's really been a big turning point for a lot of guys, including myself. The ergonomics on this thing are just over the top. All right, what do you think?
I like how it fits in my hand. It feels just like a sturdy grip.
Right.
I love it. Shoots really well too.
What about the texturing?
Yeah, I like it. It's not too harsh, but it feels like it holds me in place, and it feels like I'm completely in control of it, which I like that a lot.
I like that beaver tail too.
You like the what?
The beaver tail.
Yeah, I do like that a lot.
Kind of gives you more balance.
Nice. And it just looks cool.
It does look cool.
Okay, shoot the middle top.
Now, keeping your firearms maintained and cleaned is vital. Otis makes some of the best cleaning equipment out there. They make a number of different kits that are dedicated for different rifles, pistols. They also have Shooter's Choice, which makes excellent CLP and bore solvent and different cleaning materials. The Ripcord is one of their signatures, and there's a whole system based around it. They are suppliers to the U.S. military. So check out Otis Technologies, highly recommended, and we want to thank Otis for being a sponsor of the channel. For the standard Ace RXM, it's $449. When it comes to the X model, it's $474.99. And as far as market price, if distributors are carrying these, typically it's a little bit less. So what are some pros and cons? Definitely it gives it a whole other feel to this handgun. It upgrades the RXM well beyond anything that I've ever seen, and it gives you that really modular grip on the Glock compatible handgun, which is huge. And you can put other slides. You can put your Glock slide on here, but you do need the RXM chassis. The texturing is over the top, all the different features with the recoil pad, the beaver tail, and then if you want to add the extended mag well, that works too. And of course, you can put whatever trigger that you want to upgrade to. And we do have the 3-slot Picatinny rail, and again, it does fit your Zev OZ9 holsters. As far as cons, honestly, the price is about the same, or maybe even a little more than you would pay for just the RXM. But you're taking that and you're moving up to a whole other level. A lot of guys spend a lot of money on their Glock style handguns, and this way you've already got an incredible chassis. In fact, this is one of the top metal chassis out there in the industry. And so it just has to be a choice if you want to upgrade and really up your game, because this definitely gives you a whole other experience when shooting. And to be honest, it was uber reliable right out of the box. Putting this on there, it just really shot well. And this gun, as far as accuracy goes, was just phenomenal, as we've shown. Setting up the frame with the slide, it just fits really well. It's a very smooth fit. And you definitely feel that aluminum and the firmness of the aluminum, which gives you a little more control. And while, you know, again, I love polymer frame striker fire pistols. They're excellent. But really, when it gets down to it, I mean, this really takes it up a notch. So to me, as far as a Glock compatible type firearm, this is the top of the heap. But let's face it, guys, it just gives us some choices. And one of the beautiful things about the Glock system is that it's very simple, it's very reliable, and it's great to see a lot of different options out there. So guys, if you have the RXM and you love it, but you really want to go to the next level, the Icarus Precision is definitely the ticket. This thing is incredible. I love the RXM in its Magpul form with the Magpul grip shell. But man, you put this Icarus Precision on here, and again, it just totally transforms this firearm. And again, we want to give a big thank you to Icarus Precision for sending the Ace X RXM grip module for this review. I'm telling you guys, this is totally a different handgun. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Guys, when it comes to, guys, there's a big, and again, a big thank you to Icarus Precision. Let's get a little closer in there. Let's get a little closer. Now this only takes this takes the Gen 3, okay, now the Icarus only takes, the Icarus grip model, the Icarus grip module. It feels really good in your hand. It out with the Icarus Precision